Let's talk about DeShaun from My 600-Pound Life, Season 13, Episode 6. DeShaun is 28, his weight is unknown, but they think he's probably over 700 pounds. His mom, sister, and his cousin visit him on a regular basis. He also does have a nurse caregiver who comes over and takes care of certain things and also cooks him some of his meals. DeShaun's father was in prison from the time he was 5 until he was 24, and so his mom raised him and his siblings. When he was 12, he was put in a group home because he got in with the wrong crowd and he started shoplifting and doing other things. When he was 15, there was some kind of gathering going on and he was actually shot. As they heard the noises, and then he tried to push his mother to the ground to save her, ended up going through his hand. And after that point, he kind of stopped leaving the house. He dropped out of high school, etc. He says by the time that he was 18, he was in the 500s. At this point in time, his apartment that he's currently living, he has not left in over 3 years. And he hasn't even left his bedroom in over 3 months. FaceTimes with Dr. Now, talks about everything, gets the plan, etc. And then also Dr. Now is going to send a physical therapist because he can walk, but not very well. He's going to send over a dietitian, and then he also needs to start therapy. The dietitian comes over, she gives him some handouts and stuff, and they go over the food nutrition labels. And the day that the dietitian comes over, his cousin brings him McDonald's, and the dietitian is talking with him, and he's like, I only drink water. And she's like, what's that? What's that frappe thing over there? The physical therapist comes over, and he actually enjoys this, and he gets to stretch a little bit, and she gets him up and walking, stretching his ankles, and then leaves him with some bands. At this time, he is not talking to Dr. Paradise, even though he's supposed to. At the 4-month check-in with Dr. Now, he gets super aggravated and just kind of shuts down, which is a reoccurring theme throughout the show. He did admit that he likes the leafy substance. It really seems like either he's on that a lot, or he's just so severely depressed and shut down, because for most of the episode, he just is not interested in anything at all. So the call doesn't go good with Dr. Now. DeShaun's mom is there, and everybody's just yelling and everything like that. And Dr. Now is like, if you're not willing to do the work, I'm not willing to support you. In month 5, he finally does have a FaceTime, Zoom call, whatever, with Dr. Paradise. They talk about all sorts of stuff. And he's like, can you just go out to the living room? Just go out onto your patio. Just expand your life a little bit. And he's trying to get to the core of what more do you want to do with your life? Your life is very small and there's so much out there for you. So DeShaun actually does it. He goes out to the living room. He has dinner with his mom in the living room, goes and sits on his porch one day. At month 7, Dr. Now sends a medical transport to his house to take him to a local clinic so that they can get a weight on him. They can run a bunch of tests, and he refuses to go because he doesn't have his shoes. So he's like, my shoes should be in a couple days, and then next week I will go. He doesn't go. Now fast forward to month 10. Dr. Now has not heard from him in 3 months. He has blocked his calls. When physical therapy would show up to the house, he wouldn't unlock the door and open the door, so they just stopped coming. He has not met with Dr. Paradise again. He's not talking to his dietitian, and he also ended up firing his caregiver. So Dr. Now mentions that he's still willing to help him if he's willing to accept it, but he's just on this downward spiral. Dr. Now says that his family is not only enabling him by bringing him this food, but also some people in his life actually are getting paid to be his caregiver. And so Dr. Now believes that that is why they are not helping him more. And that is where DeShaun's story ends.